Welcome, everybody. That was the fastest admitting of 75 people into a room at once. Welcome all. We have more people joining us, so we're going to continue to click admit here as we get going. And welcome. Good evening. Oh, I see a couple of familiar names on that list, which is fantastic to see. And I'm glad that you are with us this evening. Oh, still a few more coming. I know it's 7:01 and I appreciate everybody being on time and ready. And we're going to get going. So welcome everybody and welcome to our special and exclusive celebrity event. I can't wait to get started. I cannot sit still, as you can probably tell. I'm just itching for this to get going. On behalf of all of our travel franchise partners here, the group of 7, I like to call them, we wish we could do these in person with you, but given where we are, we're glad to still bring you the exclusive and the one and only Chad Kolenko from Celebrity Cruises. Chad, if you go to the next slide, please. Chad is joining us from the safety of his home here, which is so glad to have you with us. If you've been to one of our celebrity events in the past, you know Chad is a live wire. He does a fantastic show, and he has a spectacular presentation for us this evening, focusing on 2 key regions that I love, and they are probably bucket lists for you as well. And as you know, at Expedia Cruises, we are travelers and we would love to share with you some of the unique things that you can do in these destinations or things you may not have known about that we can help you with. Now, Celebrity shares a very special relationship with all of us here at Expedia Cruises. We have won a number of industry accolades with them, a number of awards, and Celebrity themselves have done over and beyond the best in the industry and have won accolades against all of the brands that are out there. And I'll let Chad talk to that a little bit later on in the presentation. We are all, as you can see, Arif and Elaine and Janice and everybody here, we're so happy to have you here, and Scarlett, we're so happy to have you here, and we welcome you to ask the questions. If you have questions, please drop them into the chat and we will answer those at the end. And if there's something that we weren't able to address, do feel free to reach out to your travel consultant, because I'm so proud that we all have one of these. Oh, you can't quite see it, it's out of focus. I'm sorry about that. But the cool thing with Expedia Cruises and all the centers is we are trained professionals. We have gone through extensive training with Celebrity. Every year we have to renew that, and we all earn our 5-star Academy certificates with them. So you're working with people who are in the know. We haven't stopped learning, folks, during COVID. All of our agents have continued with that. And I'm so proud to also say that we have also been able to renew, and this is not focusing for all of you here, but we were able to renew, again, our CLIA. And if you're wondering what CLIA is all about, and if you've heard me talk about this in the past, CLIA is like the good housekeeping seal of approval. It simply means that we as an industry, we as a travel agency have gone above and beyond in our training and our knowledge about the cruise industry, about the travel industry. And not many organizations out there are part of the Diamond Club with this. So we do excel in this area. So you can be rest assured that you're working with creditable and very knowledgeable individuals. Chad, I've said enough on this. I can't wait to see where you're going to lead us to tonight. We do have a full agenda, so I'm going to turn it over to you and welcome Chad.
Well, thanks very much for having me join you guys for our kind of evening of rediscovering the world with Celebrity Cruises. And as Andrew mentioned, Expedia Cruises is our #1 partner globally, so we are really excited to be kind of working with them in terms of making sure we've got something for you to take a look at for all of your future vacations. For myself, one of the things that I'd like everybody to know is that I'm not just talking the talk here. I just got back from my 4th cruise in the last 3 months, but I want to just kind of give you a little bit of an outline on what we're going to cover tonight. So the first thing we are going to talk about is what does it look like right now? I think a lot of you that are on this call have been anxiously awaiting some news that is going to make you feel good about planning your next vacation, and more importantly, getting on that next vacation. We are going to talk about Celebrity Galapagos because, as Andrew mentioned, that's a very unique and special part of the world, and we do a really special program there that I want to showcase for you. We do have 3 ultra luxury ships that are new in our world with the Celebrity Edge, Apex, and beyond. And I want to showcase those for you because even the diehard celebrity fans that are on tonight that have sailed a lot with us in the past, after just coming back from sailing on Celebrity Apex, I got to tell you that has reset the bar in terms of what luxury vacations look like. So I want to show everybody what the Edge series ships are looking like and a sneak peek at the Celebrity Beyond. We're going to talk a little bit about Celebrity Europe in 2022. By far and away, our Europe cruises are leading the charge in terms of what Canadians are booking into for their holidays this summer. We'd probably like you to have a look at that with us as well. We've got some really, really strong promotions. It's no secret that the cruise industry, Celebrity Cruises included, are building our business back. We're hungry to get you your business and get you on our ships and to help get you moving. We put together some of the strongest promotions that we've ever had. So we'll kind of talk about that a little bit tonight. And of course, you have a choice of who you deal with. Where you put your credit cards, who you're going to entrust with your vacations. Personal friends and family are all booking with Expedia Cruises and with some base you see on here tonight. And we hope that we can give you some good reasons tonight that you'll be doing that as well. So the first thing that I wanted to get started with is that I think a lot of people in the travel, I sometimes hear, well, we're going to wait and see. We kind of just want to wait and see what's happening. And ladies and gentlemen, it's 4 times in the last 3 months, and the wait and see period is over. We've been sailing since June. We've got a lot of our fleet, and I'll show in a moment, but back in service now. And when you think about how you try and live your life here locally, whether that's going to a restaurant, or going to events or activities where they've got the greatly reduced and getting back on ships, letting the crew work the magic that they do in terms of bringing those luxury vacations to life. And it felt good. It felt normal. There's some reasons for that I'll go through in a minute. But even beyond the ship experience, I know a lot of people wonder, well, you can do anything. Sure. On a moped that we rented in Nassau, was the dining experience like we've always known it? It totally is. Open and math all the time. You don't. We'll get into some of this, but I just wanted to convey, because these are my personal vacation pictures. Got back.
Hey, Ted, I think we're heading over the...
And this is,
I think we're heading over the equator on that ship. We've kind of lost a little bit of the satellite connection there for a minute there. Let's take we're just going to let the internet catch up to you here. You're going along with this quite well. Don't know if there's any background Outlook running or something like that, but we lost your satellite connection.
Uh-oh, so I disappeared for a minute.
You disappeared for a minute, but perhaps if you turn off your, I like you and everything here, Tab, but if you turn off your audio, or turn off your video, we might be able to grab some bandwidth from your ship satellite.
Yeah, give me a moment. We're going to try 2 things here to speed things up.
while Chad consults his IT department, which is usually our children, we're going to take care of that. So we do have some cool things coming up here, the Road to Recovery and what Celebrity has done. Actually, a group of cruise lines have worked together on the onboard safety, the Cruise with Confidence. And then we're going to sail, like I said, past the equator and head to Ecuador and the Galapagos. And that is a very unique destination with some really exclusive ships there.
Okay, so am I coming in clear?
You're coming in clear. If you did want to just turn the video off for a little bit,
yeah,
that way we can
I'm gonna stop my video because it's not important for you guys to see me as much as it is to see the content of what we're talking about. So my apologies that we cut out. I guess IT is our friend sometimes. This is why we need a cruise. We need to stop relying on our laptops. We need to get out there and actually be living life. But
we all want to have in person here, and you know what? Sometimes this is, hey, look at that beautiful food. Now, Chad, was that on the menu that you let us vote on and what you're going to eat one night?
It was. I know you follow me on social media, so I usually post the menu and let my followers kind of pick what I'm going to have for dinner on any given night. But I think the main thing that I want to convey by showing some of my personal pictures, because I just got back from my 4th cruise in 3 months last week, and a lot of people are, is it safe? Not just is it safe, it felt safer than anything I'd be doing around here at any restaurant or lounge or event. So it's really, really important to kind of understand that the protocols are in place to make this feel like the some of these personal pictures, because I think a lot of people in their minds think, well, there's so many places that have so many restrictions right now. Is it even worth me going on this trip? But the entertainment was like, cruise entertainment to be. The activities off the ship, off the ship and do your own thing. There's a great picture of my wife and I at Maho Beach in St. Martin. There's a great picture of us swimming with the stingrays. Dance floors are open. The performances on board and the guest entertainment was top notch. So I just wanted to show some of these things, because I think a lot of times people sit back and go, is it time? Or I want to wait and see. And I really think that we've come a long, long way since June when we restarted our vessels to the point where we can say, not just is it safe, but it's arguably safer than any other place you could be, land or sea. Andrew, I also wanted just to make mention, some of the folks that are on with us tonight might be thinking, well, is the cruise line doing everything to keep us safe? But it's not the cruise line that's really making the decisions. We've got the very best and brightest in the world of health and science as part of our Healthy Sail panel. This is a former head of the FDA. This is a former head of the CDC. This is some of the top names in health and in science to help craft our plan, everything from before you even arrive, what we've changed about who can board, what we're going to do to mitigate any issues on board should somebody have a positive test. We're going to work with the port call and destinations to make sure you can still that was needed. Talk a little bit more in depth on that in a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's really this Healthy Sail panel that's doing exactly what they're doing. And folks, the one thing I also think is really critical to understand is that we've been sailing now since June, and we're now tail end of January. So we've had more than half a year of every week switching out for thousands of guests, for thousands of new guests to keep trying what our health and safety protocols are. And we've managed to stay under a 1% positivity rate on board the ships. So less than 1%. So I don't think there's going to be anywhere on the planet that's going to have a 0, but less than 1%, considering we're 7 months deep now into this restart, is super impressive. And I'm a dad. I've got kids, I've got a wife, I've got a family. I don't just throw caution to the wind. I'm careful about kind of how we're living our life. And if somebody were to ask me, do you feel safe about being on the ships now? And this isn't talking about down the line. This is if I was to go back tomorrow, without question, I'd be happy to take any of my friends or family with me and say, this is the safest place that we could be anywhere on the planet. And also, I think it's really important to kind of understand it's not talking theoretical. We've got 11 of our 14 ships that have now returned to service. So almost the entire fleet is back and activated and cruising again. And so every month that ticks by, we get smarter and better at how to have everything in place to make sure that there's the lowest impact possible on anybody's holiday, and it doesn't feel like you're on a floating hospital. It feels exactly like a luxury vacation should feel. And so that was our goal. And that's really what I feel like we've achieved after doing those 4 cruises in 3 months and getting a firsthand experience on what that was all about. So Andrew, I know you've got probably some questions related to that. I just want to show one quick video here on our healthy return to service, and then we can kind of talk about some of your questions.
We have so much more to show. I can't wait to see what's happening. So Andrew, it's a bit of a blend between having the right protocols on board. We are wearing masks on board only in the indoor spaces, and you don't need to be wearing masks while you're eating or drinking. Obviously, greatly enhanced cleaning and sanitization. Fleet-wide, we've upgraded our HVAC filtration systems for air to put the air on our ships in a higher grade than you get in ICU units and hospitals now in terms of what filtration systems they use. So it's the freshest air, the best quality air you can have. While on board currently, and for all of 2022, we are going to be sailing at a greatly reduced capacity. For example, the cruise I was on last week, it's a ship designed for 3,000 guests, and we had 1,000 guests on board. So talk about a luxury experience to have so much additional space and freedom to move. It was a beautiful thing. So that additional space and kind of the reduced capacity is great. 24/7 medical care available on board. And then same with onshore, with how we're working with the health and safety protocols to make sure that our guests are coming back healthy, but still getting into the destinations to enjoy. And at the tail end, Andrew, we'll cover about COVID-19 assistance, just to make sure that we've talked about Cruise with Confidence so everybody feels comfortable moving forward. Yeah, I mean, Celebrity has an extensive list here, and it hasn't been a set and forget, right, Chad? I mean, there are ongoing enhancements, and there are people making sure that this is executed daily on board the vessels. So congratulations to the entire industry, especially with Celebrity, for leading the way on the healthy return to sail.
Yeah, and if you have any more in-depth or specific questions about the health and safety protocols or what the experience is like, please reach out to your professional travel consultant from Expedia Cruises, because we've spent a lot of time, giving all of them the most recent information and tools so that they can kind of relay that back. Or even our consumer website of celebritycruises.com does a great job of outlining everything about Healthy at Sea with our brand. So here's our fleet. We are really excited about the Edge series because the Apex and Beyond kind of came out, or Beyond's about to be coming out, but during the pandemic. So we didn't really get a chance to showcase to the world what those ships are all about. But we do have, a smaller, more intimate feel with the Millennium class ships at a guest count of just close to 2,200 guests. Solstice series coming in closer to 2,900. And now the series didn't get bigger, but it got a lot more luxurious, and they're just wanting for government now. Andrew, I know this is on your wish list, the Galapagos.
Absolutely. I'm gunning for it. And I know you've got 3 vessels down there, but I think I see one of them with my eye here that I'd love to be on.
Yeah, so let's take a look at what we do in the Galapagos. And first of all, you're absolutely right. The Galapagos for us is something that's unique. It's not like any other cruise product that you see out there. It's truly meant to be experiential. And a lot of people that complete their surveys say it was transformational. It was really the best vacation that they've ever had in their life. So I want to show you just a little bit about what we do in the Galapagos.
Celebrity Cruises invites you to discover a corner of the world so unique, it's like you've left the planet altogether. The breathtaking Galapagos Islands. On a Celebrity Galapagos vacation, everything you need is included. Round-trip flights from Quito to the islands, transfers, luxury hotel stays, meals and beverages, land tours before and after your cruise, and shore excursions during your cruise. Your island adventures can work up an appetite. Flora offers both indoor and alfresco dining, and every menu is crafted by our Michelin-starred chef using fresh, locally sourced ingredients. The Galapagos Islands are some of the most stunning islands in the world, and Celebrity Flora is right at home here. Step aboard and experience an unforgettable, once-in-a-lifetime vacation.
So that's a little taste of kind of what we are operating in the Galapagos. And our Celebrity Flora is the most luxurious vessel in the Galapagos Islands. This is an all-suites vessel. It was really designed for those that want to have an adventure during the day, experience all of the very best adventures in the Galapagos, but come back to a very pampering all-suites experience on Celebrity Flora in the evening. And so, it's about more than just what we deliver as a cruise experience. We also understand that being community focused in the Galapagos, remaining sustainable. For example, when we designed the Flora, it doesn't have an anchor. It's got global positioning so that our anchor wouldn't damage any of the sensitive corals. The reforestation project, 50,000 trees donated and planted, whether it's community projects that we're building soccer fields, we're helping with activities in economic development in the Galapagos, fishery co-op and development. We're made $1.5 million in guest contributions locally. We really are not just coming into the Galapagos as tourists. We're invested into making sure that the health and longevity of tourism in this very special part of the world continues to grow and thrive. And I think that when we talk about the Galapagos, the Galapagos could be its own evening with Expedia, and we do Galapagos evenings with Expedia, but it's so unique with the small ship experience, with getting off every day where you've got your choice of low, medium, or high impact adventure. So whatever you're up for, whatever your physical ability level would happen to be, there's going to be something for everybody. I would caution, Galapagos is not really the trip to bring kids. I think anybody bringing kids under 12 or 14, it's probably not going to be the best fit. This is really about getting hands-on, and I think for the appreciation of what we do, you probably do want to be at least past the kind of pre-teens. But you know, when we say there's a difference between visiting and experiencing the Galapagos, that's really true. And whether you get into the water where the marine life is just not afraid and will come right up and interact with you, whether it's the coastal explorations and kayaking and some of the most unique terrain in the world, whether it's the off-beach excursions where you might be able to head right up to a sea lion or a seal and they're as curious to come and check you out as you are them, whether it's some really unique hiking, and we've got different levels of hiking, again, depending what your ability levels are. Don't anybody think that because you're not Indiana Jones that this wouldn't be, the vacation for you. We really understand that people come in lots of shapes and sizes and ability levels, and for that reason, that's why we send you out with the naturalists on any given day. It's to ensure that you are being pampered on board something like the Flora.
Yeah,
it is.
I was wondering because I see lots of pictures of couples enjoying and doing some cool stuff. So is it I just go off and do stuff, or am I got somebody to take care of me when I'm on these excursions?
So we have the highest ratio of Galapagos National Park naturalists on board the vessel, the highest kind of naturalistic guest ratio out of anybody operating in the Galapagos. And so what that means is very small groups escorted by people that were trained and designated as exclusively Galapagos naturalists and guides. And that's just part of built into what we do. And in fact, a really cool thing of what they do, there's times where you might be out off the ship during the day exploring and experiencing the Galapagos, and you're wowed, but maybe you don't even know what it is that you're experiencing and seeing with some of the wildlife, etc. So if you've got a GoPro, if you've got your digital cameras, if you're using your phones in waterproof cases, whatever it is, we'll have the naturalists take a lot of people's footage and photos later in the evening back on the ship, and they'll put together little slideshows where they'll talk through what the experience was, etc. So it really brings it to life because it's not conceptual. It was what you just experienced, but now with some narration from the professionals. But I mean, it's not just the naturalists. It's really, this is one of the only total, complete, all-inclusive experiences that Celebrity offers. It's pre and post experiences in Quito, which is a World Heritage Site and a great city to explore. There's a round trip flight to Baltra on the coast where you launch into the Galapagos from Quito. So that internal flight in South America is actually included for you. The cruise itself obviously is included. All your beverages, alcoholic and non-alcoholic, are included. We cover and prepay your gratuities. Any of the onboard programming we look after. As I mentioned, the naturalist with that very low kind of guest to naturalist ratio, that's included. Use of all of our snorkeling equipment on some of the ships where they provide kayaks. Those are available for you as well. Use of the binoculars and bathrobes. There's complimentary Wi-Fi available. And any of the park fees or tourist card fees are also included as part of the package.
Really, I don't have to do much but show up, post everything on the internet, on my social media, and look like a superstar.
Yeah, and even people that, went on 10 celebrity cruises in the past and sailed on some of our bigger vessels, they understand that coming to the Galapagos is a little bit of a different experience. And so when you're coming onto a ship like the Expedition, and just to give you an idea, because the slide that you're looking at there, it's 100 guest ship on the Expedition, it's 100 guest ship on the Flora, and it's a 16 guest on the Exploration. But the Celebrity Expedition on the far left, it's in a unique situation right now where the Flora is 100 guests and we're sailing with 100 guests. The Celebrity Expedition is 100 guests, and we're sailing with 48. So we don't have enough tourist visas for the area to do a maximum on both ships. So because the Flora is all suites and it's our newest ship, we're going to sail that at her intended 100 guest count. But a kind of special secret tip for you, if you are booking onto the Celebrity Expedition, you're going to be getting onto an ultra luxury yacht that was designed to really pamper 100 guests, and there's only going to be 48 of you. So talk about a VIP private yacht kind of experience. That's, I think, exactly what you get right now with Celebrity Expedition, if you were interested in taking a look at that.
So I hate to do comparisons, but what kind of hotel would that be? What kind of brand would that be? If because you're talking about the luxury stuff, what if I was doing a land thing? If I went to Whistler, what would that be like going to?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think that's that helps, especially for people that maybe haven't experienced the Celebrity brand or the new face of the Celebrity brand. So I think that where Celebrity delivers these days, especially with a product like our Flora or even our Edge, Apex, Beyond ships, this is Ritz-Carlton, this is Four Seasons, this is Fairmont Hotels. I think, to your point, if a lot of your viewers tonight are from British Columbia, if they're heading up to Whistler for a weekend and wanted to be pampered, Four Seasons Hotel up there, the Chateau Fairmont up there. These are really the properties that I think kind of effectively convey what the experience is on board Celebrity.
Yeah, and I think with the ships this size, so that's kind of what I was thinking about. But I think with a ship this size, you're going to meet lots of people from all over the world and make a whole bunch of new friends and fall in love with that expedition travel.
Yeah, it's a pretty special experience for sure. One thing I also wanted to mention, when I show what we've put together for kind of the show offer tonight for all of your guests that are joining us here tonight, one of the things you'll notice is that Galapagos is not included in that offer, but that's because we have our own exclusive Galapagos offer, and part of it is we are funding the airfare to pretty much get you down to Quito to start the trip. So it's a round-trip airfare from most Canadian gateways will fit into the air credit amount. So if you're interested in Galapagos and you understand that you do have to fly down to Quito to get this thing started, the great news is right now we're covering, if not all, very close to all of the air ticket, depending on which carrier and which routing you select. But that's a great opportunity with our Flights on Us deal to get you down to the Galapagos. And they say pictures paint a thousand words, so I just wanted to show you, even though you're going for a very unique experience in the Galapagos, for those of you that rely on Celebrity to really deliver that luxury experience, here's a great shot of a sky suite and kind of what that looks like on board Celebrity Flora. So that really conveys that luxury is luxury no matter where in the world you go with us. And you do have lots of choices. There's 10-night, 11-night, and 16-night packages. There's northern loops, there's southern loops, there's inner loops, there's outer loops. So depending on what marine life and animal life you want to experience, your professional travel consultant from Expedia Cruises can help take a look at what would the best itinerary for you be, because I get asked all the time, well, what's the best one? Which one is the best one? But there is no best one. It's really boiling down to what is more important for you, because different islands that we visit are known for different marine life or different animal life or different experiences. So we can just work with your travel consultant from Expedia to kind of find the best fit for you. But lots of good choices there. And one that I would definitely recommend is that if you are traveling down to Quito and this is going to be your once-in-a-lifetime trip to South America, do the 16-night package, which does include a trip up to Machu Picchu, which of course is a World Heritage Site. It's a really special place. It's on a lot of people's bucket list, and you can combine this trip as part of your Galapagos package. That, I think, is what we see most people doing from Western Canada. because we understand that a lot of them might not make it back to this part of the world. So if they're going to do it, they want to really do it right. And that 16-night package with Machu Picchu is probably the start point of a good conversation with your Expedia consultant.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going all this way, what's a few more nights to really explore and take in another sights and sounds?
So we are everywhere in the world. And, you know, tonight's focus was going to be on Galapagos and also on what we're doing in Europe for this summer. But if it's Mexican Riviera, if it's Asia, if it's Australia, New Zealand, if it's the Caribbean, if it's Hawaii, if it's Alaska, South America, I mean, we really do cover the globe. And your professional travel consultant from Expedia Cruises can certainly help give you some of the great options, because you never want to rely on just what website pricing looks like. You want to be talking with the professionals from Expedia that have their Expedia exclusive stateroom rates, which are in a lot of cases hundreds, if not in some cases thousands of dollars per person less than what Celebrity's website is quoting. And they do have those kind of across the globe with us. But I think, you know, because we are going to be heading into the spring and summer here, we do see such a positive trend in terms of Western Canadians booking into our Europe programs. I just want about Europe for us.
Cool. Well, I'm going to let your ships. I'm going to let your ship's satellite
Apex is
catch up with you.
I'm cutting out again, am I?
A little bit, but you know what? While we transition into Europe, I'm going to let that satellite connect with your new ship, because you've got some really cool ships there. I've been on one of those newer ships there, the Edge, but you also have some couple new ones coming out. So if you're looking for something like a new ship, a new concept to a ship, we hear new ships all the time, right, folks? Hey, new ships coming out, the investments and so on and so forth. But really, Celebrity has turned that ship design on its head. And it's like a big hug when you walk into these newer ships. Very open, very flowing, very unique. And there's a couple pictures Chad's going to share with us. But yeah, so if you're looking to see Europe, now is the time to really dial in. Pull your chair up to the monitor here.
So did my satellite catch up with you guys?
Oh, you're sounding great.
Okay. That'll teach me for trying to do this web session from deep in the Caribbean, hey? So I did want to just mention that, you know, in Northern Europe, if you haven't been able to experience the Baltics, our newest ship that's sailing right now, the Celebrity Apex, will be sailing for her first time from Amsterdam. Amsterdam is a wonderful city to have a pre or post. I mean, it's a city of endless museums, canals. I mean, I absolutely love Amsterdam in any season, been there many, many times. But that Apex sailing out of there, going up, doing the Baltics, actually having an overnight stay in St. Petersburg in Russia, this is just a must do. So Apex out of Amsterdam, we've got the Silhouette sailing from Southampton. You can see in the Mediterranean our brand new ship that's going to be debuting in April. The Celebrity Beyond is going to be doing Barcelona and Rome with a 9-night and 10-night Eastern and Western Mediterranean cruise. Also one of our new Edge series ships sailing 7 and 8 nights, and also a 12-night Istanbul overnight and Ephesus in Turkey. So some really cool itineraries on the Edge. The Reflection is going to be doing 10 and 11 nights with overnights in Istanbul. So that's exciting. We're excited that Reflection is going to be opening those itineraries. And Constellation is doing 8-night through 13 nights, Barcelona to Venice, or I guess now that would be Ravenna. But we have more overnight stays than any other major cruise line. If you didn't know that, that is one of the points of distinction and differentiation for Celebrity Cruises versus a lot of the other lines. We have more overnight stays than any other major cruise line. You can see I did a little bit of a snip of some of the overnight stays that we're doing in exciting places in Europe. There's some great listings there for some of our more unique ports of call. I think we've taken a lot of lessons from some of the small boutique brands to get in and check out some of these ports of call that were kind of a little bit off the beaten track. And I think that one big reason people are choosing Celebrity for Europe is our itineraries, is the more unique ports of call, is certainly the overnight stays. And we've got lots and lots of this to choose from. So, you know, again, Europe could pretty much be its own evening with Expedia because we've got so many awesome itineraries to take a look at. But what I did tonight, folks, is I actually took a couple of the itineraries that I saw that Expedia Cruises had exclusive dates with special rates. And if you like the look of what you're seeing on the screen for the itineraries, you definitely want to talk with the people from Expedia because they've got group blocks with special rates that are substantially lower than the Celebrity's website pricing. And here are just, you know, some good examples of the ship's dates and itineraries to take a look at for that. There's lots more, but I just wanted to cherry pick a few. Here's another great one on the Apex out of Amsterdam for June and August days. Great shot of St. Petersburg, Olden in Norway.
Destinations. What I like about these
A
selections
fantastic
that we
one
have,
of doing the UK.
yeah. What I like about these selections is the country intensive or region intensive, because you stop multiple times in a country, you can really get a feel for it, right? I mean, it's like staying in Calgary or staying in Toronto or Lake Country for a while. You get to really feel what it's like to be there. So I'm glad, you know, Celebrity is true to its core and wants people to see the world and experience this. You mentioned overnight stays. A couple other things which I think is quite unique to your vessels is you get people to the downtown cores, right? When you go into St. Petersburg, you're in downtown St. Petersburg. You're not out 2 hours away. Am I correct?
Yeah, in the vast majority of the ports of call that we visit, we are docked, not tendering. And in the case of the ports that offer different docks or different piers, because of Celebrity status, we generally do get the preferential pier positioning. And that might not sound like a big deal, but it is. If you're a guest on our ship and you want easy access to be able to more easily, do make a big difference in terms of how your day gets started, and so we're kind of pretty proud of that fact as well. But
there's nothing more romantic or unique than being like I was in Crete overnight, and there's nothing more unique than, you know, having supper on board the vessel and then going back on shore and going around the ruins that are all lit up at nighttime with your tour guide and stuff, and stopping in for a drink or a bite to eat something local, because they're welcoming. They're looking forward to having people back. And so that was the unique thing about overnight. So you'd really get a real feel for it. And as we all know, cities come alive at nighttime.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of cruise lines that leave these great ports of call at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're missing some of the best part of that port. If you haven't been able to stick around and do dinner in a seaside cafe and have a cappuccino and do some people watching, arguably you missed the very best time of some of these European ports. So the overnight stays is big for us. The new itinerary planning out of places like Amsterdam is big for us. But Europe, I think that's kind of in our wheelhouse in a way that we really own it for 2022. But I know we've got lots more to still finish up with here. So just want to fire by a few more kind of exclusives that we saw. The pricing differentials were just great. And so here's one for Celebrity Beyond, which will be our brand new ultra luxury ship. And this is a great combination of doing the Greek islands, doing Rome, doing Barcelona, getting into Valletta in Malta, which is one of my all-time 9-night on Celebrity Beyond with July, August, and September dates. And this one you can see is doing the French Riviera, some of the Italian Riviera, some of the Spanish Riviera. Just a beautiful ship, the Celebrity Edge with this 12 night. I can't even imagine being this summer and getting to conquer everything from Mykonos to Santorini to Rhodes, getting into Ephesus, which is probably some of the best Rome. Just a absolute top-notch itinerary there for the Celebrity Edge to take a look at for that 12th night. And then a great shot of the Celebrity Edge off of Santorini, Greece. And because we have so much content and so much deployment in the Caribbean, we can't take a look at all of the itineraries that we do there. But I just wanted to make a mention, whether it's Eastern Caribbean, Western Caribbean. I just got back from doing a 10-night Southern Caribbean. And by the way, if I ever have an option again, I'm never doing 7-day cruises again. 10-day or more is exactly what I think everybody deserves. And both my wife and I said on that last cruise, it makes a really big difference to have the additional days. So if you have the choice, do a back-to-back to make it 14, or do a 10-day, 11-night, 12-night. We got lots of options for you on that front, but lots and lots and lots of Caribbean choices for you as well. But Andrew, I did want to show you the Celebrity Beyond, and it's not just showing you Celebrity Beyond, but for any of the folks that are with us tonight that have not experienced a Edge series ship, I just wanted to quickly show you what that looks like and feels like. So we are super excited to be welcoming Celebrity Beyond in April. And I know a lot of the Expedia team was fortunate enough to get onto the Celebrity Apex or sistership to kind of firsthand get this experience. And just before I show kind of the booking offers for tonight and some of the special things that we put together for you, there are two other things that I think are important for you to know. So number one is, I know none of us in Canada have been able to really escape like we're used to over the last 2 years. And so for that reason, what we're noticing is a trend of a lot of people saying, we didn't go anywhere on this next vacation, we're really going to pamper ourselves. And so we do have the solution for that. It's called the Retreat. It's a whole lot more than just saying, I'm buying a suite. This is not about booking a suite, although it is. You are getting beautiful suites with huge square footage and great amenities, but it's about the overall experience. It's all suites, it's all exclusive, and it's all included. It's pretty much a ship within a ship experience about what total luxury looks like.
What I wanted to do was to create something that was very now, the textures, the fabrics. We were absolutely adamant that it shouldn't be second best. The idea for the sun deck was for us to create different areas that you could sit, wonderful cabanas, floating hanging chairs, and you want to watch the sunset, and you want to have that cocktail, and you want to stay there.
Lumine is our top-rated restaurant. In Lumine, we truly focus on local sourcing. It's all ingredient-based, so the presentations are just a little bit more elegant than you might find elsewhere. It's something truly special.
We've had massive success partnering with Daniel Boulud.
One of the aspects of our collaboration is that the restaurant Lumine, we offer every night a single menu, and it will be an opportunity to explore the cuisine of the world. So I really feel that there's something very personal from me.
And I think it's a natural fit because we have a lot of foodies who sail with us. So to give them the opportunity to try your food, I think is going to be something really special.
I am really looking forward to this experience.
This lounge is really important because it's a private area. I wanted to create something that was kind of quite eclectic. So it's got some humor in it, but it's a really calming place to be.
Pat, I jokingly mentioned that the ship wants to give you a hug when you're on board. The design of these ships, I was on the edge a while back, it absolutely wants to give you a hug. You can escape, you can go read a book, you can enjoy your vacation, and you're in your little, private area. And the food there is phenomenal. I have to say, Chad, it was phenomenal.
Our goal is to make every guest come back from our vacation experience saying, wow, I feel pampered and relaxed and recharged. And I think that the ultimate delivery of that can come in a retreat experience. But whether you stay in the retreat or whether you stay in any of our wonderful categories on board Celebrity, we did change our pricing model to include more. So even our base lead-in rates now fall under what is called always included. And that is the big things that we know are important to a lot of people that other cruise lines might nickel and dime and charge for. We're just including. And so the drinks, the unlimited alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages are included with our classic beverage package. The gratuities for your entire voyage are prepaid for you, and unlimited high-speed internet at sea for 2 devices is also something that's included. And that's even just with our base lead-in rates have always included. We do have some upgrade packages where for $39 Canadian per person per day, You can move into Elevate to bump you up into the premium beverage package with the top shelf spirits and wines and some of the craft beers, etc. You get some onboard credit. It's $200 per person if it's a 10-night or longer cruise for you to enjoy on board. And then you can go into Indulge, where the difference between always included and Indulge is $78 per person per day. But now you're doubling up on the amount of onboard credit to buy shore excursions or spa treatments. We give you a much faster bandwidth of the high-speed wireless internet, and of course that premium beverage package. But that's kind of how you buy Celebrity. What we changed and evolved about our pricing model to just be a more included or more inclusive cruise line. Now, I did want to mention, because again, it as much as I want to show you the great booking offer, it's only going to matter if you actually feel comfortable about moving forward right now with making a booking for your vacation. So we do have something in place right now called Cruise with Confidence. And Cruise with Confidence is in place right now to allow you to go ahead and make a booking on any sailings between now and September 30th of 2022. And if you change your mind for any reason, you can get 100% of your money back into a future cruise credit to use with us at a future date. You can redeem those future cruise certificates on any sailing through December 31st of 2022, or from 1 year flexibility there. But we don't want you to feel nervous about proceeding ahead with a booking, because we want to give you the assurance and the confidence to know if you're not comfortable, if you have a change of circumstance and you just want to change your mind and you don't want to go, you don't have to. You can just change your mind for any reason, invoke that Cruise with Confidence cancellation. We'll issue you that future cruise credit, and you can sail with us when your circumstances are in a place where that works for you. The other thing that's part of it is we get a lot of times guests will say, well, what happens if the cruise price ends up dropping later? I don't want to miss out. You won't, because what we've built into this is a best price guarantee. And that means right up until 48 hours prior to sailing, if a better price or promotion comes available, you can just have your Expedia consultant contact us and we will adjust your booking accordingly for you. So with those two things in there, the cancel for any reason right up to 48 hours prior, that really gives a lot of flexibility with the best price offer built in and kind of that assurance or protection. That's a lot of peace of mind. And then we have our COVID assistance policy in place as well for all sailings until April 30th. If you were to test positive for COVID within 14 days of taking your cruise, we just give you a full refund. If you flew and you end up testing positive at the pier or the airport, then you get a full refund. And if your flights are booked with us, we will give you travel assistance with air to get home if it's at a different airport other than your airport. If during the cruise you ended up being one of the less than 1% of people that actually ended up testing positive, you'd get up to 100% refund of your cruise fare. You'd have free access to all of our medical facilities on board and our medical coverage. And if you had to quarantine shoreside in Florida, for example, before you would come back to Canada, we'll cover your hotel, we'll cover your meals, and we'll cover the flight changes to get you home after your quarantine. And this is not just applicable to yourself, but anybody that's traveling in your immediate kind of travel bubble. So that's immediate family members and those traveling in the same cabin or even close contact. So I wanted just to make mention of that because I think those are things on people's minds right now. And they want to know what's the cruise line going to do to make sure that this all works. And I think that we've checked all the boxes there.
That's
so
pretty,
if
that's
we've checked
pretty deep,
the boxes, it's as good as it can be. I don't really think we could craft anything stronger than that based on the circumstances that the world is in right now. But like I said, it's good enough that I cruised 4 times in the last 3 months, and I'd cruise again tomorrow if I had more vacation time. But now I'm out of vacation time, but you're probably not. And so if you want to talk to the folks from Expedia Cruises, here is what we're going to put in place for you. We've got a really, really good virtual cruise show offer. It's going to start by the layer of the 3 big perks. So your classic beverage package for all your alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, that's included. Your high-speed wireless internet for 2 devices, that's included. Your prepaid grats, that's included. Plus, we are going to give up to $350 USD of onboard credit per stateroom for you to spend on board. So that now becomes another layer of very rich onboard credit that you can stack on top. Plus, we're going to combine that with what we call our wave offer right now, which is up to 3,000 USD or 3,900 Canadian dollars per stateroom savings off the price of your cruise. So depending on which cruises it is that you're booking and the durations and category that you're booking, it can be up to 3,900 Canadian dollars off. So that is really, really big dollar savings that you're going to have access to. The sailing window is March 22 to March 23. So you have a full year's worth of deployment all around the world to choose from. It's not destination specific. It just needs to fall into March 22 to March 23 for a sailing date. But the important thing, ladies and gentlemen, you want to talk to your team members from Expedia Cruises now, because the booking window on this is Feb 1st to Feb 7th. It's new bookings only. It's 3 nights or longer duration on the sailings, and it excludes Galapagos. Why? Because like I showed you earlier, we actually have that free air, or depending what gateway you are, almost free air offer to get you down to Quito. So that is kind of the booking offer. So if you have questions specific to the booking offer, please do reach out to your professional travel consultant from Expedia Cruises. They're the best of the best. They'll be able to help you kind of navigate this. And if you didn't get enough time, or if my satellite connection was a little disconnected where it mattered tonight, one thing I just wanted to point out, we have short video tours of all of our ships on YouTube. We have all of our destinations. We have featured ports. We have our culinary. If you can type in youtube.ca onto your computer and look at the Celebrity Cruises channel there, you are going to get great virtual tours of anything you want to see with our award-winning cruise line. So with that said, if you're heading out the door, we know being totally covered is super important. And Andrew, I know you've got some things to say on that.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. Yeah, we're going to upgrade you to the Indulge package for your internet shortly. But thank you, Chad. Yeah, I can't say enough about... Yes, I can't say enough about the Celebrity package, because we've been on it a few times, and we did do the Indulge part. And now... my lovely missus does not want to go back to the usual type of cabins that we used to be in. So it is time to indulge, to pamper yourselves and all this. But yeah, while we are Expedia travel consultants and we love to dream and can help you plan your dream vacation or that bucket list destination and all the pieces from airport to ship and back again, we can never plan for the unknowns. We always recommend that you travel with Manulife. Because, you know, the unanticipated will happen. Chad, we did have a couple questions come in here. And we do have a few minutes to go here. You did fantastic here. If you go back a couple of slides, you talked about that guarantee in air quotes. And it's a very deep, you know, what we're going to do, what Celebrity is going to stand up and do. At what point might Celebrity look at renewing that if the world continues down its current, you know, Omicron and uncertainties? Will that date go past the 30th? Like when will Celebrity do something like that?
So we sure hope we don't have to. But what I can
Likewise.
say is that we have extended it twice already, just based on COVID and world circumstance kind of continuing along for a longer period than we anticipated. So will this COVID assistance need to be understands that in order for us to function, you have to have people in a confident frame of mind that they're going to be looked after. We totally get that. Now, having said that, the travel insurance companies have now stepped up, and Manulife, for example, does have COVID assistance available for cruises that really does cover everything. So I hope we don't need to. We have extended it in the past, but really, I think the conversation needs to be, what do you need to feel comfortable before you're going to continue on with your booking? Because there might already be a solution with that if it's past April 30th, and it could be by way of the Manulife policies that Expedia Cruises can show for you.
Yeah, so I wish my crystal ball would come from Amazon, but it's still in back order. But yeah, I mean, the cruise lines actively renew and take a pulse, but this is a deep offer. So, it's like a casino, right? They're gambling that you're going to lose and win. So again, this is not faint of heart. There are, serious people looking at this. So if it does get extended, then yes, it will get extended. But the idea is to cover off the uncertainty that we can kind of predict today. Thanks, Chad. While in these beautiful destinations, we know that you can get off and enjoy the ports of call. Do you have to be booked with a celebrity tour or shore excursion, or can you disembark the vessel, go and explore, and come back on your own?
So it's not an easy question to answer because it does vary country by country and port by port. But if you wanted to kind of blanket answer that question, I would say the lion's share of our ports of call, you can just get off the ship and go explore like you always have been able to. There are a few ports of call that have stipulated you have to be on a shore excursion that is with the cruise line. And there have been one or two ports of call that said maybe not right now. And so we've swapped those out with other ports of call. But I think most people just really want to know, during my cruise, am I going to be able to get off the ship and go and do my own thing? And the answer in most cases is yes.
And as Expedia travel consultants, we've seen a lot of movement in this. And so the cruise lines have really tailored, that's why you're seeing more country or region intensive sailings to make sure that you are getting the maximum time. So yes, you can get off and enjoy. And for those that may have some conditions in place, you can still have fun. I mean, I was in Greece. I visited a couple areas of Greece and stuff, and there were still some requirements that you had to go with the cruise lines. And the cruise lines do a fantastic job of free time and so on and so forth. And it's really the bubble, right? The bubble concept to make sure that you are safe and the vessel's safe on the way through. But yeah, you brought us back the offer. We have a whole Coles Notes on this team back at the office for each of your travel consultants. So if you have questions, do reach out to us. We'd be happy to discuss what you're thinking of for 2022 and beyond. We'd love for you to be traveling 2022 and seeing your pictures on Facebook and on social medias. So yeah, don't be shy with the questions. That said, if there's anything that you have or are dreaming of, please drop it into the chat.
And I did really want to also mention to everybody that I know masks tends to be a question that comes up a lot about masks on vacation. And from my last 4 cruises, the experience I would say is that while you do need to wear a mask in the indoor areas, unless you're eating or drinking, that's mostly what you're doing in the indoor areas. I mean, if you're out for dinner, you're not wearing a mask once you're seated at your table. If you're at any of the lounges and enjoying a beverage, you're not going to be wearing a mask. If you're at the show and enjoying the entertainment and you've got a beverage, you're not going to be wearing a mask. And if you're outside, at the pool decks or any of the outdoor dining venues, etc., you're not going to be wearing a mask. And when you get off the ship, you're not wearing a mask. So, when I think back to this last cruise, there was not a lot of mask time in it. And so I think that that's just something to be aware of, because I know none of us like wearing masks, but the longest or kind of the mask part of the vacation was the flight down to Florida and back.
There's some questions come up here about world conflicts, i.e. what's might be happening in Ukraine and stuff. And I think it's more of a generic question to the overall travel industry, cruise industry. And that is, if there are conflicts in the world or uprisings or overthrowing of governments, so on and so forth, the cruise lines will defer and avoid those parts of the world. And I can speak to this because a couple of years ago I was in Greece, and there was a military coup that took place in Istanbul, a very short one. They just, I'm sorry, but we're not going into the ports of call, and the cruise lines diverted to other ports, and obviously compensated for that minor annoyance. But again, they make sure that you're safe, and the cruise lines are on top of this all the time. They have dedicated teams that know about the various concerns in different parts of the world. Another one is, yes, this offer that you have seen here this evening is available to anybody attending today's presentation, or even if you're friends. So if you have somebody that couldn't make it tonight, or somebody you might want to travel with, this is open to them. So it's not specific to BC residents. It's your friends, anybody you want to discuss, anybody you want to travel. And what I like to do, what I have learned as I've gotten older, is traveling with friends and family. Well, not so much family, but new friends. It is kind of fun. You get to do different things out there.
And listen, Andrew, the one thing I think all of your folks that have tuned in here tonight really need to know, I get to see a report of every cruise that Celebrity does and what the price of those cruises on Celebrity's website is. And then I have a second column in that report that shows all of the Expedia exclusive rates. And it's a mind-blowing report. If you do any, due diligence, and you're in your pajamas on your iPads at home, looking up your vacation options, etc., if you pull the trigger without talking with the folks at Expedia Cruises so that they can check what those Expedia exclusive rates are, you might have missed a really big opportunity, because there's so many good reasons to deal with the teams at Expedia Cruises. They are the best of what they do, but a really big differentiating factor is how much we're talking off the price of Celebrity's website pricing versus Expedia Cruises pricing. So as cruises get more filled and the market rates go up, the Expedia exclusive rates stay locked in at those lower rates. And when you're talking Alaska 22, Europe 22, the differentials are massive. So make sure, no matter what it is that you're interested in, do reach out to your professional travel consultant from Expedia Cruises so that they can showcase and check some of those dates and see what their Expedia exclusive stateroom pricing looks like for you.
Here's a question which I'm not fully in the loop on, but is Asia sailing now?
So Asia is not sailing at the moment, but Asia is scheduled to sail again. So it's open for booking, and it's actively on the roster of deployment going to be reactivated.
Is that summer or fall?
Well,
or is that my crystal, or is that my Amazon crystal ball?
No. I mean, all of the deployment is available to see now for all of the Expedia teams and the consumers. So, I mean, it's on our website. It's in Cruising Power. It's something that if you're interested in Asia, just reach out to your Expedia consultant so that we can show you some of what we do. And if you like Japan, or if you've got Japan on your wish list, we have some really awesome new itineraries in Japan that get very in-depth, and cruising is the very best way to explore that part of Asia. So that's high on my wish list for one of the next ones.
Perfect. What does Celebrity do, or what does Celebrity do when there is a positive test for COVID? How many days does that passenger have to quarantine for?
So I hate to get into the weeds on this kind of stuff. I mean, we do have a policy and protocol on board the ships, but obviously that guest would be quarantined to their stateroom. It does get a little bit intricate from there because we do several different rounds of testing on them to make sure we didn't have false positives. So if it was a false positive, obviously they could be out the next day after completing 2 more tests. If it did come back as continued positives, then they would be quarantined for a minimum of 5 days. But it does depend on what part of the world you're in as well. And that's why I'm not trying to dodge the question. It's just a complicated question, because when we sail out of US ports, we're under the guidance of CDC. When we sail out of European ports, we're under the European guidelines, and they're not all the same. So we do have a very sound plan for mitigation on board the ships, but it does vary a little bit depending on what part of the world that you're in. If you need those specifics, then I guess you can reach out to your Expedia Cruises consultant and they can touch base with us to get a little bit more into the weeds with that. But wherever you are, it's a very sound health and safety protocol that's in place. And the biggest thing to remember, ladies and gentlemen, out of thousands and thousands and thousands of guests since June around the world, with all of our ships reactive and sailing, we've had less than 1% positivity. So, I mean, that says a lot.
It's the due diligence, but again, having been to Europe, sailing there, it is European or country specific. They do follow the guidelines, and the cruise lines have to follow what they're told to do. And just like in Canada, with the goalposts changing every couple of days or weeks, it depends is the answer. And I hate giving that as well, but it depends on what the current state is and the conditions there. We had a few people thanking us for the presentation, Chad. If there's any more questions, do feel free to drop them in, or do give us a call. We're back in the offices tomorrow morning. We'll be happy to talk to you all and get you booked for something starting on February 1st, because this is going to open up really quickly. And like Chad had mentioned, inventory is limited. And now is the time to get your foot in the door, put that deposit down, get all the perks, get all the benefits, and the world's going to change. It's going to change for the better. It has to. We're already at the bottom of this, and it's going to change, and you're going to have something to look forward to in the very near future.
Even if it didn't change, Andrew, even if it stayed exactly the same, which it won't, but if it did, we have to start making our new normal. And that's why I know I've said it a few times during the presentation, but I've cruised 4 times in the last 3 months, and I would cruise again tomorrow. And if that means a few health and safety protocols that didn't used to be around pre-COVID, that's okay, because it's still an awesome luxury vacation experience, and I would be back on one of our ships tomorrow if I could.
Well, on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to be on a cruise as well tomorrow. And thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you, Chad.
Thanks, everybody.